Hello, welcome. This is a quick video on how to write an equation if you're given the endpoints of a diameter or if you're given the center and an endpoint of the radius. Uh, in this case, we'll focus on the endpoints of the diameter. And so I've labeled my 2 points that they've given us -6, -2 as my first point, x1, y1, and 2, comma 4 as my second point, x2, y2. And so I'm just going to think about what does it mean to have a diameter. Your diameter goes from one point on the circle to another point on the circle, but goes through the center. And so, um, if if we knew the distance of that diameter that goes from the one point through the center and then on to the other side, and we just divided it by 2, then we would be left with half of the diameter, which is the radius. And we need that radius is part of what we need to write the equation, because we need the r squared is the radius squared. But we also need this point in the center here, which is the point hk. So h is the x coordinate of the center, and k is the y coordinate of the center. And we'll be using both of these formulas. The distance formula gives the distance d between 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. And then you plug it in this way, and so that's would give you the distance of formula. So it's the difference of the x coordinates and the difference of the y coordinates, and then we square each of those differences and then take the square root. It all comes from the Pythagorean theorem, and so you can watch that in maybe some other video. And then the midpoint formula gives us that point. This will give us the point hk, because the h will be the average of the x coordinates, and y will be the average of the k coordinates, because that gives you the point right in the middle. And so that's what we're going to be looking for. So first thing, let's go back over here and let's plug it into the distance formula. And so the distance, which is also then what we're looking for, is the diameter, will be d is equal to the square root of x1 minus x2, or x2 minus x1. It doesn't really matter which one you put first. I'm going to go ahead and just put x1 minus x2. x1 is -6 minus x2, 2. And that will be squared. And then we've got y1, that's -2, minus y2, which is 4, squared. And then you can just put that in your calculator. I don't think I'm sharing my calculator, so just go ahead and work through it with you by hand. It's okay. -6 minus 2 would be -8 squared. And then -2 minus 4, that's -6 squared. And all of this is still under the radical. So this is 64 plus the square root of -6. The squaring eliminates the negative, so that's 36, again, all under the radical. And then that's the square root of 64 plus 36 is 100. And then d then is equal to the square root of 100, which is 10. And as I said, if the diameter here the diameter is 10 units, the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. And so if I have 10 is equal to 2 times the radius, that means my radius is equal to 5. And so then we've got that part of the equation. But we now need the midpoint for the center of the circle, because if you go halfway down the diameter, you're going to get to the midpoint. And so for that, we just take the average our HK is going to be the average, -6. This time we're adding them, -6 plus 2, and we're going to divide that by 2. And then the K coordinate is -2 plus 4, and divide that by 2. And so -6 plus 2 is -4, divide by 2. And -2 plus 4 is 2, divide by 2. And we want to simplify that down as far as we can go. So then -4 divided by 2 is -2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. And so now we have what we need, that our radius is 5, and our h and k value is -2, 1. And so, once again, generalized form of the equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. And so then I can just plug in the values that I found. X minus, now when I subtract and I take x minus -2, then I want to simplify that. Those two negatives combined to give us an x plus 2. And so that's what I'm going to put inside here is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared, and that's equal to the radius squared. The radius is 5, so I would just take 5 squared, which would be 25. And that will be the equation that we're looking for, x plus 2 squared, y minus 1 squared, and that's all equal to 25, which is the answer that we were given here.